Good morning, everybody, and welcome in here to WagerTalk TV. This is Puck Time. We have 3 games to break down as well as best bets at the end of the show. Guys, before we get into the show, I want to remind you about the end of the year special we have going at WagerTalk. Less than $59 a week. Get every sport from every handicapper. It's a great deal. Definitely check that out over at WagerTalk.com. We have Sabres, Flyers, Stars, Flames, and Blues, Avalanche, myself, the Prez, and Carmine. Carm will go right to you. What do you have for us today with the Flyers and your Buffalo Sabres?
Yeah, interesting game, Andrew. We're seeing some regression from this Flyers team. They had a good start to the season, but they've now lost four or five games. The one win that they had was, while convincing, 6-2 over Minnesota. That was a struggling Minnesota team. So you've got to take that one with a bit of a grain of salt. Speaking of surprises, the zigzagging Buffalo Sabres, and never use the zigzag as part of your betting, but I don't know where they found this 4-0 victory on the weekend against Colorado. Back to back, that's back to back 4-0 shutouts for the Avalanche, who we're going to talk about a little later. But it was a good spot to fade the Sabres, I thought, mainly because of the fact that the Sabres have goaltending issues at the moment. Their top two are both out. Levi and Comrie, both with lower body injuries. So Luukkonen started that game, and he struggled in preseason. He was fighting the puck, and Granato talked about it. He talked about it during the first week of the season on carrying 3 goalies, and the fact that one of them was struggling, and he needed to get him some ice time. Well, he got ice time. He got a shutout, but the Avs only got 23 shots on goal, which is a surprise coming off that 4-0 loss in Pittsburgh. You thought they would have been a little better in that game. They're home to St. Blues tonight. Listen, the Sabres did what they had to do. This is a team that's going to win games this year and is going to vie for that playoff spot, the 7th or 8th. They're not good enough right now, I think, to be a top 3 team in the Atlantic. But they are good enough to be a 4th place team in the Atlantic, which puts them in the running for one of those wild card spots, because we're seeing the other teams struggle. The Pittsburgh Penguins bottom, Pittsburgh Penguins bottom of the East right now. I'm not sure who called that one, but they're there right now.
Lawrence.
I like the Sabres, Lawrence. Yeah, we'll get to you in a second, Lawrence. I like the
Well, you
Sabres in this
asked
one.
the
The total
question.
stuff, it's 6.5. I know, but I appreciate you talking over my my analysis that is going to be supposed to be clipped, so I could send it out. I don't think people want to listen to you on my clip. With that said, if I can get back to it for a second, so with the Sabres Philadelphia game, you're looking at the total. It's 6.5 shaded to the over. Again, you're going to need both offenses. Anytime I'm taking a total, you're going to need both. You're going to have to rely on both offenses scoring. I thought that would be the case last night. Didn't work out. The Leafs were a no-show. Will the Flyers score tonight? I'm not entirely sure. I think the Sabres are the play here. And there hasn't been much line movement. This opened up at 115 for the Sabres. It's split 110 both ways right now. I don't see that changing at all. So for me, it is the Sabres tonight, minus 110. Let's see if they can score 4. I think it's going to be good enough. Maybe they build off that win with Luukkonen in goal. Maybe he solved whatever issues he had during the preseason. So it is Sabres for me tonight. And now we'll go to Prez for his thoughts.
Well, firstly, I'd like to humbly and sincerely apologize. I thought you asked a question. Who called Pittsburgh to be the worst? And the answer was clearly me. So, guys, thanks for having me on Puck Time today. And as you can see, I am Movembering. And Vivian, my woman, already told me I look like a porn star. So I asked if that's going to help or hinder my porn life. Stay tuned. I will report back next Puck Time.
Prez, it looks good, but you're cheating. Yeah. You cheated. You have to shave on the first of the month and then start all over. You can't start with the stash.
We're saying how it's going to end up. I want to grow.
Okay.
I want to grow. You might not know this name, Andrew, but I want to grow a Rolly Fingers.
No clue.
Do you know that name?
No clue.
I do,
Carm, we're
but
so
Andrew
old.
doesn't. Andrew's too young.
We're so old. Okay. This game, guys, I hate this game. What do you want from me? I got like 4 games. You pick a game I can't stand. I'm not betting this game. I'm not touching this game. I'm not going near this game. If I had to bet it, I would take over the total in this game. Buffalo's got goaltending problems. Philadelphia can score. That's one thing I got to say. They put up 2 goals against Carolina. Before that, it was a 4 spot, a 6 spot. They've put up 4+ goals in 4 of their last 6 games. We know Buffalo is going to get theirs. They're going to get theirs on a regular basis. They just put up 4 goals their last 2 games, 6 goals the game before that. Both teams can score. Both teams have shitty defense. I'm not betting this game, but if I had to, I'll bet the over.
All right, that is a Prez, and you notice I did not interrupt him at all while he talked. But I'm going to go one step further because we all love the Prez. And Dan, can you get his stash back up there on the screen there? Even though, as Andrew said, he should start from normal. So, guys, I cleared this with our office first. I did this last year with Dan Alexander, our great producer. It's Movember. We all know what Movember is, and I don't want to talk about my life much on a hockey show, but I have gone through it, not growing the mustache, but gone through what Movember represents. So it means a lot to me at this time of the year. And because Prez is doing it, I had him put up a page, create a page where you could donate to Prez's mustache. And let's see if we can get this going. Here's what I'm going to do this week only, till Friday. Make a donation on Prez's page, send our customer service an email at support@wagertalk.com, and you'll get a 3-day all access package from me for this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Every NHL play, every college football play, every NFL play I release. You're going to get them absolutely free. They'll give you a 3-day all access package for making a donation to Prez's page. Something that means a lot to me, and I'm thankful that the Prez is doing this. I got one other picture because, and Dan, if you could put this up, because this is a picture of my dad who passed away as well, my dad, and he would have been 85 today. It's his birthday. This is a flashback picture. This goes back quite a while of him with the brothers and cousins sitting at a table, drinking the old Molson stubby bottles. I'm not sure if you guys remember those old stuff bottles,
Yeah.
but he's the one on the left-hand side there with the beer up to him, having that bottle. They got the cookies and they've got all the liquors and cake in the middle and just having a great time. And they used to dress so much better than we do nowadays. Now we're just wearing like Grateful Dead t-shirts at birthday parties and crap like that. But happy birthday to him. He would have been 85 this year. Yeah, 86 this year. So happy birthday to him. And again, head over to Prez's page, donate, email customer service, and get a 3-day all access for me. Let's try and make some money this weekend. Andrew, sorry about all that. I'm going to throw it
I have
back
a
to you.
question. I have a quick question. Firstly, Carm, obviously sorry about your dad. And it's been a while already, but the pain never goes away. I also thought the same thing about the dressing. It's so funny. As I was thinking that, you said it. Where do they get my page? I know not. Thank you for doing this, by the way, Carm. I can live with a really crappy mustache for 30 days. Vivian can't, but I appreciate that you are going to give away some of your money for this to happen.
When the video gets posted, I'll ask our video crew to post a link in the comment section, and then the PuckTime account will tweet it out, and Prez, you can retweet it as well too.
Okay, let's raise $1 million.
Great stuff, guys. And
Andrew,
Carm, happy
Sabres or the
birthday to
Flyers tonight?
your father. Happy birthday to your father, Carm. I'm sure
Yeah.
he was a great guy, just like the other Biancos that I've met.
He was a
And
Habs. He was a Habs fan. He was
oh,
a Montreal
perfect. He
fan.
definitely was a great guy. For sure, definitely a
Yeah,
great guy then, and
there you
and and I will definitely be supporting as well because it's certainly something that's impacted my family's life and throughout my family as well. For me in this game, looking at this price, it's kind of confusing for me here with the Philadelphia Flyers and the Buffalo Sabres because based on the eye test, based on analytics, and just based on some of the stat sheets, everything here tells me that Buffalo is the better hockey team. Everything tells me that Buffalo has underachieved to start the season off. And even despite some losses, Philadelphia has overachieved here. Guys, any team that gives up 7 goals or more to an Anaheim Ducks team, I don't care if it's any random given day, that is a bad sign when you're letting an Anaheim Ducks team score that many goals on you. Buffalo is a team that was experiencing some defensive issues, goaltending issues at the start of the season. But when I take a look at the Flyers and, when I look at the teams that they've defeated and then what's happened to them when they've stepped up in class, it has not looked very good. And you look at their victory over the Edmonton Oilers, guys, for the first 7 games, everybody was beating the Edmonton Oilers. There's not a lot of data right now in the NHL for us to base our plays on from the early part of the season. But what we can do is try and find out which teams overachieved and which teams underachieved. And for myself, I think that Buffalo is the play in this one. They're a bet on team moving forward. And I think that they're a team that's just going to kind of be that younger team, Carm, that needs that confidence boost. Once they gain confidence, they see the puck go in the net a few times, get a few W's, then they will really get going. But for this Philadelphia Flyers team, I just look at them and I think that they find ways to lose, not find ways to win. And this is going to be a tough game for them here against the Buffalo Sabres. So I will take the Sabres at a pretty promising spot here. I can't argue with Prez's thoughts on the over, as I do think both teams come into this one very hungry. Should be a good game for props for shots on goal. So we'll see what we end up with that. Prez, let's jump into the Dallas Stars and Calgary Flames here. This is obviously one of those games where you have a Calgary Flames team playing at home that certainly hasn't met their expectations going into this season. And there's a reason why they're plus 115. Dallas minus 135. What's your take on this game, Prez?
Andrew, yesterday on WagerTalk today, I pointed out that it was a bad spot to bet the Leafs. Now, I hope my listeners understood what I was saying because I'm a massive Leaf fan, and I'm not. It's the only team I won't bet against ever, and I know that that's wrong as a professional bettor, but I want some kind of purity in my life from a sports perspective, and that is on the Leafs. So when I said it's a bad spot to bet on the Leafs, I was really telling everyone to bet the Kings without saying it because I can't say those words. Same situation in this game, bro. This is a bad spot to bet Dallas and a really good spot to bet Calgary. Look, Calgary has started this year 2-6, 2-6-0-1. I can't stand the 4 columns on your win-loss sheet. It bothers the shit out of me. They are 2-6-0-1. They've had a terrible, terrible start to the year. They've lost 5 games in a row, and they can't get out of their own way. Well, tonight's the night. Tonight is the night that they turn it around. And when I say turn it around, get one win. With that said, I think this Calgary team is better than their record. I think this Calgary team will be fine. They've got a really, really, really good goaltender. They've got a decent top 4 defense core. Their offensive scorers. They're good up the middle, and they do have guys that can score. I just feel like Dallas is coming in. They beat Columbus in their last game. They've won 4 of their last 5. The thing about me, Andrew, is, and if people read my analysis, it's like I can go on and on and on, but ultimately I'm going to win or lose bets on the feel and the rhythm of teams. The rhythm and the feel for the Calgary Flames tonight is right I'm betting them. I cannot give you, I can't sit here. It's not a sandwich game. It's not a trap game. This team isn't 64%, on Wednesdays after 9 p.m. They aren't. I don't know if they're 82% against teams that wear green. I don't know the stuff.
I get
When
it.
I bet hockey, I bet on a feel and a rhythm. I like the Calgary Flames tonight.
No, I completely get that, Prez. I'm the same way. I think the three of us watch a lot of hockey. I think we know the sport, and sometimes you get that feeling when there's a certain spot that might not, favor the team that everybody might be looking at. And Carm, when you look at this game in particular, I'm not sure if you like Dallas or Calgary. We haven't spoken yet. But as far as the price is concerned here, I know it's early in the year. I kind of thought we'd see more of an overreaction and see a bigger number on Dallas. Plus 115, as much as I agree with Prez on the spot here for Calgary, I just don't know if I can jump in with that price. I don't know if it intrigues me enough. What about you?
It's first of all, if you see me shaking up and down here, it's because they're excavating the streets right in front of a huge hole right in front of my house, replacing the drains, and it's just rumbling in here like crazy. Andrew, it's I don't know what to say about this Calgary team. They started so well, going 2-1-1. And I thought, okay, well, a new season, they're going to make up for what happened last year, and then boom, it's like Prez said, they lose 5 games in a row, and it hasn't been the toughest of competitions, or toughest of teams, other than maybe the New York Rangers. They lose to Columbus, they lose to Detroit, they lose to St. Louis Blues. Um, those are teams they probably should be beating right now. And then they lose to an Oilers team in that outdoor game. Who, I guess it's an outdoor game. You can call it a coin flip. You can call it whatever you want. But the Oilers were struggling to score goals and win that game 5-2. They're eventually going to put it together, but I can't continue to bet on a team while they eventually figure it out, because I'm eventually going to lose all my money doing so. With that said, I'm not touching these sides. I don't want to lay juice with Dallas on the road in Calgary, because they're a wounded dog, and you just never know what you're going to get from the Calgary Flames. I'm looking at the total here. We got sixes across the board, with the one exception of a 5.5 at Circa. And we talked yesterday about the whole Circa thing, that, Circa was offering the best price on the Leafs, the lowest price on the Leafs, and whether that worries you or not. And they're offering a 5.5 here where everyone else is offering a 6. Last year, you got to draw a line through last year's 3 games, because Dallas and Calgary are not going to get together and play 6-5 games like they played last year on a couple of occasions. I have to feel that Calgary, their way to get out of this slump is to play a defensive masterpiece of a game. Well, can they do it tonight? We're going to find out in about 8 hours, 9 hours. But I like the under here, so I'm taking under 6.
Carm, I don't like disagreeing with you. I don't like being on different pages. But with that gut feel that Prez was talking about, I think that gut feel leads to goals for Calgary, but I'm not sure it helps out their defense. You look at Calgary, when I see some of their games they've played this season, their problem hasn't necessarily been only their defense, or excuse me, only their offense. I think a lot of it's been their defense too. The Oilers, for example, are a team that, in that outdoor classic game got the job done, put up 5 on them. The Blues put up 3, Rangers 3, Red Wings 6. This is a team that's allowing goals to a lot of different types of teams. So as much as I think they would want to win a low scoring game, I think that the game that they win is going to be the game they finally put 4 or 5 on the sheet. So I'm going to look towards actually the over 6 here. Like I said, I like Calgary, but I don't love the plus 115 price. It's not enough for me to get excited about taking this Flames team based on how they're playing. But I believe if they get me to 3, if they get me to 4, then I think we get this over. I think Dallas still participates and gets us some help with the over here. So one of us will win. Prez leaning towards Calgary. Carmine looking towards the under, and I like the over in this game. Guys, we appreciate you all being here in the live chat or watching afterwards. Want to take this moment to ask you to please hit the like button, comment below who you are betting on tonight. Could be a shot prop, could be side, a total, could be a look ahead spot for tomorrow. Whatever it might be, comment. It helps us out. We really do appreciate that. And subscribe to us on our YouTube channel. The channel continues to grow. It is amazing. It feels like just yesterday that WagerTalk TV hit 100,000 subscribers, and here we are over 130 now, which is unbelievable. I believe that's the number. Prez, if you know, correct me if I'm wrong there on that. But
over 131, Andrew, and you know what? Customer Appreciation Day went really well yesterday. We had an unbelievable amount of sales across the board. I mean, it was. I texted. I had 2 plays, dude. I had one NBA play, one NHL play. I texted Carm. I made so many sales yesterday that I was actually like, I had anxiety as those games were starting. And my NHL play was Vancouver, and then they're down 2-1 at the end of the first. I'm like, I can't deal with this, man. I can't deal with the enormity of how many people were playing my bets yesterday. Yeah. So I ended up going 2-0 for the clients, and that's how you thank them. But I really do appreciate.
Yeah, I'm glad. Listen, I'm glad you had a guy. Mine was the exact opposite. It was a disaster. I get a red card in a soccer game early on, and it kills my soccer play. Then the Leafs don't show up, which I contemplated because I talked about LA's a live dog yesterday, and I took LA on the show, but it wasn't a client play. I thought the Leafs would provide some type of scoring. They didn't. And then you might as well put Philippe Forsberg on the side of a milk carton because he was missing last night. Not a single shot on goal for the guy. So anyone who bought that hockey play, by the way, I added 2 plays for today on it. So if you bought that customer service play, you got a couple extra plays. So you should log into your account and check those out. But with that said, Andrew, I hope your day was much better than mine.
Yeah, while we're recapping, I will say that I went 1-1 yesterday. I just had released 2 plays to clients. Unfortunately, all access people went 1-1. If you bought my customer appreciation play, that was a loss. I learned the value, and I knew this all my life playing basketball growing up. The fact of the matter is that when you handicap totals, I had an over in NBA, guys. I know this is a hockey show. I handicap pace, right? How many shots, how many possessions as a team getting, right? But the problem is, it's also about quality of shots. Like, Prez, I saw these guys chuck up so many shots. I was like, man, this over is looking great. They're taking so many shots. It's about the quality of the shots. If you're taking fadeaway jumpers, falling out of bounds, off balance, hand in your face shots, doesn't matter how many attempts you're getting. It's kind of like an NHL team getting 40 shots on goal, but 35 of them were from the outside blue line. And that's kind of what happened to me with my over yesterday.
Yeah, listen, Andrew, really quick, and then we got to get moving because I got a show starting in half an hour. I agree. When I do NBA totals, I'm looking for pace of play, but I'm hooking it up. And this for me, and I'm not saying this to you, I'm saying this to the listeners because we try to teach people as well. You got to link that to the shooting percentage from the night before. So if a team goes out there and goes off 59% shooting percentage or whatever, I'm not touching the overs out the window. So I want to look at pace of play, and then I want to match it to a bad shooting night the night before. And I think that is sort of the missing step that a lot of amateur bettors do miss out on. Guys, this is one of our shirts that you can find at Wager Merch. My favorite team changes every 3 hours. Check out the website, wagermerch.com. There's a ton of PuckTime swag up there, Andrew.
When people ask me what my favorite CFL team is, that's pretty much what I tell them. I don't have one. It's whoever I am betting on. And speaking of betting, back to the hockey action, Carm, we have Colorado and St. Louis going head-to-head here. And St. Louis is the team that I had pegged to be a poor defensive team. Now, they've shown signs of that, but they've also been competitive in certain games. Now, Colorado, whether it's been high scoring or low scoring fashion, they have found a way to get it done throughout this season. But they're minus 240, Carm. Total at 6.5. How do you bet on this game?
It's a tough one, but I think Colorado's the right spot here off that road trip. It was a very short road trip, 3 games, 3 games on that road trip. They've had a couple of days back since then, and they scored 7 against the New York Islanders, 7 against the Islanders. 2 of them were empty nets. I get them. But against Sorokin, they looked great offensively, and then against the Penguins and the Sabres, 0 goals in 2 games. They return home. Now, here's the thing, as far as this game goes, and again, it's seeing who's at the morning skate. Is that at yesterday's morning skate, Cale Makar did not practice, and Byram didn't practice. So you got 2 defensemen off the top 2 lines who did not practice, and it has to do with at least Makar's. He took a hit from Opozo in the Sabres game in the second. I think it was in the second period left, but he came back and played the third period. So he may still be. Sometimes it takes a while for that to happen. He may be bruised. He may be battered. One of those 2 is going to likely miss tonight's game. And that's because they called up a defenseman from the minors for tonight's game. So you know that one of these 2 is going to miss. I think it's more likely to be Byram than it is to be Makar. I'd rather see Makar in there, especially because I want to be on Colorado in this game. And there's different ways of looking at it. I don't want to lay that number. You can take the puck line, which you always wonder if that's dicey because of a team that hasn't scored any goals in their last couple of games. Or you can take them like in reg. If you can get that 150, 160, 165-ish number on them, I think it's still a play. The Blues are a team I don't think are going to make the playoffs. I think they're a fade. They had a lot of trouble in their last game against the Vancouver Canucks with that speed that the Canucks have. And the Avs have speed on the team. So do they struggle against that speed tonight? We'll see. I hope Makar's. There's no reports yet of the morning skate this morning. I have the beat reporters Twitter on, so I'll see when he updates on that. But Gerard Bettner talked about the fact that there's new guys on this Colorado team. These guys need to adjust to the team. And even though they got off to a 6-0 start, he talked about in his press conferences that they're still not playing good enough. You don't hear a coach say that very often, but he knows that they're getting by because the upper echelon of their talent is carrying them. The McKinnons, the Makars, these are the guys who are carrying them. They need that second and third scoring. You need that secondary scoring to come in, and eventually it will get there. They're going to be a formidable team. It's just whether you want to lay that big number. I'm not going to lay that big number. I'll take them either on the puck line or in reg, or maybe split it up between the 2. But I got to believe the Avs are the right play here in this one. Prez?
Carm, I'm going to give you the exact score in this game. So go bet it. 5-1 Colorado. That means I like Colorado minus 3.5 goals, but I prefer the minus 2.5 goal bet. And my actual bet is the under in this game. Guys, let me bottom line this for you. St. Louis is going to play to the under all year long, period. End of story. They are 1-5 to the under already. I rest my case for the last 6 games. It's going to continue. This team is an under team, period. Colorado's going to zigzag total-wise. They're a tough team to predict. They can go out and score 7 themselves, or they could hold their opponent to 0. They're 3-5 on the year to the under. What I like here, honestly, is that Colorado is sucking crap right now. Their last 2 games, they put up donuts. Ducks, as they call them in cricket. They lost 4-0 to Buffalo and 4-0 to Philadelphia. When teams need to win, and Andrew mentioned this in the Calgary game, when teams need to turn around their momentum, change things up, they can't do it by playing better offense because puck luck is puck luck. You can go and shoot. You know how many times Andrew and Carmine and I text each other? We're on this team. They're out shooting the other team 45-17 and they're losing. So you can't technically control whether the puck goes in the net or it doesn't go in the net. What you can control is shutting the other team down. And that's what Colorado is going to do tonight. I would bet under St. Louis total goals. I would bet over Colorado total goals. I'd bet Colorado -2.5. I'd bet the under in Colorado. This game has Colorado blowout and still under the total of 6.5 written all over it. I wouldn't be surprised if the Blues put up a duck.
I like that thought
Andrew,
process.
Andrew, I just want to step in quickly. If you guys were on Twitter, on the X, if you go to the PuckTime Twitter account, I tweeted out the link to the Prez's Movember page. So he looks like a young Ron Jeremy. I use that line
Dude,
on Buster normally, but there you
I
go.
went to Doyle Brunson's 70th birthday roast. Brad Garrett hosted. I sat next to Ron Jeremy at the roast. After the roast, I hung out with Ron Jeremy for 3 hours at the Caesars Casino walking around. The women were like 20-year-old girls like running up to this guy for pictures and autographs. He was so ugly. I'm looking at it and I'm like, no, man, no. Like, you have to be blind to want to get into bed with that man. Anyway, it was still one of the greatest nights of my life. I got so many stories about that night. Next time on Puck Time, we'll just do a whole segment of Prez's stories from that one specific night. Okay, I'm going to shut up.
I look forward to it. Look, Prez, you mentioned at the end of your analysis there that one of the plays you'd be interested was the team total under for St. Louis Blues. That's what I'm looking at. I think that sometimes, and I talk about this a lot when I do props with Andy on our Prop It Up show. Sometimes when you're betting on a prop, you're more like just fading against the team, like a team bad against the rush or bad against the pass. Well, in this example, I'm more so looking at Colorado and how they lost and got shut out against the Buffalo Sabres and Pittsburgh Penguins in back-to-back games. St. Louis Blues aren't overwhelming anybody with their offense, but I think Colorado's defense goes a little bit, under the radar. Nobody gives them any credit. And now this is a focused and motivated spot here for them after 2 very tough games. Both clubs are very well rested going into this one. And some people might say, why not look at the puck line at a better price? Why not look at this for Colorado? The best part about Colorado's game tonight, I believe, will be their defense. And you can get under 2.5 goals for St. Louis at -130. Sometimes the best offense is a good defense. So, and I've noticed a trend this year in the NHL where a lot of these, I don't know the exact numbers, guys, so don't grill me here. We'll have to ask Ralph, but I've noticed a lot of games involving massive favorites like -240, 250 or higher. Those games are going under. It seems to me that it's kind of like an average score line of like 4-1, 3-1, 3-0. It's like the team that's favored wins by a couple goals, but puts up a good defensive effort. That's what I expect. A good win from Colorado, but looking for a good defensive effort. I will take St. Louis Blues under 2.5 goals for my play. Let's close things out, guys, with best bets. We'll start with you, Carm, then Prez. We'll circle around to me to close things out. Carm, you've been on fire with these shots on goal props, man, and you're in bounce back mode after Forsberg let us both down last night. I don't know where he was on the ice. He was just out there doing a cardio workout. But what do you have for us tonight?
Yeah. Listen, in the first period, this is where I get frustrated. I'm going to get to my stuff in a second. In the first period, when I hear, and I'm watching the game and I hear, oh, Forsberg fails to get his shot, fails to get his stick on the puck. In front, Forsberg shoots, misses the net. And I'm like, oh, you got to be, I'm not going to say it. I just, listen, another day like this and but just buy some Best Buy stock because the remote is going to go through the TV. With that said, listen, 4 plays up tonight, 2 plays in the NHL, 2 player props in the NHL, and this is one of them. Trevor Moore easily got there in the first period, I think, first or second period. Last night's play, 11 of 12 winners on the show best bets. So we're going to try and make it 12 of 13. We're going to the Sabres Philadelphia game. Sabres allow 30 plus shots on goal per game, which is sort of mid-pack. Travis Konechny, This guy is having a fantastic year. 9 games, 8 goals. And his shot prop is 2.5 minus 145. He's gone over more times than he's gone under. I think the exact number I think is I think it's 6 and 3. But with that said, I'm going with Travis Konechny. I think if we see some goals tonight, we're going to see a lot of action, some shots on goal, and Konechny going over the shot total of 2.5 tonight, minus 145, and hopefully that gets there, guys. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Best of luck, and Prez, over to you for what you have up at WagerTalk and your show Best Bet.
You got it, my brother. So first off, I want to tell everybody I am on, and Andrew and Carm understand this. I'm on what for me personally, is the run of the year. I mean, I am not joking around, guys. I am on a 10-1 NBA run. 10-1 NBA run. I am on an 11-2 NHL run. 11-2 NHL run. Yes, I'm saying these things twice. I am on a 25-8 and 32-11 all sports run. I went 2-0 last night. Again, this is the run of the year for me. I'm just seeing everything so well right now. It's unbelievable. I have a promo I want to give out, guys, for the entire NHL season, and you should be running to get this promo because I'm going to have an absolute freaking monster NHL year. Prez 499. That's Prez 499. You get all my NHL plays till the end of the Stanley Cup Finals, which is in June, for $499. Also, I have one NBA play up tonight. It is a 4% best bet. I do not have those very often. I'm on a 6-0, 10-1 NBA run, and I have one hockey bet up tonight. And as I said, I'm on a 10-1 NHL hockey run. I think I probably over promoted myself there, but it is what it is. My best bet for tonight is the under in the Colorado Avalanche game. A predicted score of 5-1. The total is 6.5. Under in the Colorado Avalanche game. Andrew Carm, thank you so much for having me, guys.
Always a good time, Prez, and congratulations on that great run. And guys, make sure you check out Prez at wt.buzz/PZ or Z, depending on where you are in the world. For myself, I got a 5% CFL, Canadian football play going forward this weekend. The playoffs start this weekend, and I've been pretty quiet in CFL action over the last few weeks because, the games haven't meant anything. But now we have the playoffs, and there's a spot that I really, really do like. So join me on that this weekend, or grab the entire playoff package. It's worthwhile. I'll have plays on all the games, and we can cash some tickets all the way until the Grey Cup championship game. NHL play up for me, and nothing in the NBA quite yet. I am looking at the over in the Calgary Flames game. I think when I look at Dallas, I look at Calgary, I think this is a good spot for Calgary to get going. I think it's kind of a bad spot defensively for Dallas coming in here. But I look at this game, and I don't think that necessarily Calgary's biggest issue has been their offense. I think it's been their defense, and I don't think that changes. I think it's easier for a team to snap out of a bad offensive rut than it is for them to kind of snap out of a bad defensive rut. So when you see low totals, especially like 5.5, and there are still some 5.5s out there, I want to jump on them. They're very rare here, and this is a game I think we should see some goals. So Dallas and Calgary over 5.5. Still a play for me at 6, but shop around, guys. You talk at 12 o'clock Eastern time. Thank you so much for being here. On behalf of Carmine and the press, I'm Andrew. Best of luck. We'll see you tomorrow.